Good morning, you guys. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We are going to be going through all the products that I actually used in the newborn stage, as well as stuff that I used postpartum, and a couple things that I used during pregnancy. I have my little list here. We're going to start off with the things that you will need, because I know that's probably what most of you want to hear. I would say definitely get your own Perry bottle. I would recommend the Frida brand. That's the one that I use. A lot of people use that one. That's the one I recommend. The hospital does provide one if you do not have the means to purchase your own. It's just not as nice, but it totally works. I used it on my first day and it was totally fine. 2, I would say bring your own pads, because although they do provide you with pads, they are humongous and you probably will use them the first couple days, the big ones, but I would say bring like a medium and a small size for later on down the road. And then last thing for postpartum, I would say just some sort of cream like Aquaphor. Again, they do provide a lot of that stuff at the hospital, so I really wouldn't even worry about it if you don't already have it. Pretty much anything else you will need postpartum for healing, they will have at the hospital. I'm gonna start with my long list of stuff you're gonna need in the newborn stage, and then we'll get into stuff that you don't need. Okay, 1, I would say just get some sort of cheap swaddle that is a Velcro one. These were my tried and trues for like the first 2 months. I would not spend your money on expensive swaddles because they're only going to use them for the first couple months, at least for my daughter. These ones came in like a pack of 3 on Amazon for like 20 bucks, I think. Again, just some cheap ones I found at the store. I wouldn't spend your money on expensive swaddles. That's just me. Number 2 is receiving blankets. I use these for everything. I use them as burp rags. I use them as my changing table. Like, I always have one of these on me or in the bed because I constantly use them. I lay them down to change her. I take them with me if I need to change her in a bathroom. Them as burp rags because they literally cover your entire chest, and so you don't get any milk on you, because one thing about my daughter is she's a freaking drooler and she drools all over me. Or if she sleeps on me, again, I put this over me and we're good to go. I literally got probably 50 of these at my baby shower just as hand-me-downs, and I've used every single one of them. Number 3, I would say get a new car seat, because you just don't want to deal with the possibility that a used car seat has been in an accident or that it is faulty. I would just say if you can afford it, get your new car seat. I just would say that's the best route, the safest route. Like I said before, Aquaphor is your best friend, or even the generic version of Aquaphor, like the Equate one. I went to Target and got those little travel size like containers, and I got a big thing of Aquaphor and then put one of the containers for the butt use and then one for face use. I would say Aquaphor works just as good as like a diaper cream as long as you're using it as like a preventative use, but definitely probably have a diaper cream on hand anyway. My daughter is learning how to use her vocals, so apologize if you hear her in the background. Next thing on my list is sheets. I only have one set of sheets right now that fits her current bassinet, and I have to wash it like every other day. So I would say definitely get a few different sheets that fit your bassinet, because you will be having a lot of milk spills, a lot of diaper spills. You know the drill. Next up is a diaper caddy. I have multiple diaper caddies, one for the living room, one for the room, only because I was gifted them for my baby shower. But this literally holds everything that I will possibly need for her. And it's just nice to have, but if you only have one, that's totally fine too. Obviously, they have handles for a reason. I just happen to have 2 and it's very convenient. I also would say put a little thing together, a little basket for your car with like diapers, wipes, stuff like that. If you're just like gonna do a quick errand, you just have that stuff in the car and you don't have to take the diaper bag everywhere with you. That's just something that I've done that I feel like has been helpful for me. Next up is onesies with double zippers specifically. These are just super helpful because you don't have to take the whole onesie off to like change them, and it has a zipper at the bottom where you just zip it up and then you can take their legs out and change them. If you live somewhere hot like me, I would suggest finding them with short sleeves as well, with like short sleeves and short shorts, because I live in Arizona. It's like 115 degrees right now, and obviously this ain't gonna work. I would not spend your money on clothes. I would just see what you get for your baby shower, and then if you need anything else, just get onesies. Next up is one of these little kits. I just spilt it everywhere, so it doesn't have everything in it right now. But with the thermometer, with the nail clipper, with the nose sucker, I would just get a little kit. You don't have to get the expensive ones, just get a cheap little kit. It works just the same. I feel like we are always trying to get sold on like all these fancy thermometers and nose suckers that are like $20. No, girl. $10 at Ross. Probably not even $10 actually. Next up is I would buy the same brand of bottles. I just had heard from my sister, I think, that Dr. Brown's were the best. That's the ones I bought. But I would just say whatever bottle you choose, just only stick to one, because my daughter at least can only use Dr. Brown's now. She can't really use other bottles. I would say maybe choose a different brand, because these are a bitch to clean, and every single night I have to go through and clean every single part that comes in them. There's like a bunch of little parts. This bottle she was just drinking, so that's why it's dirty. But yeah, there's a bunch of little parts that you have to clean. They do work great though, so if you are willing to put in the work, girl, and clean them every night, go ahead. Anyway, next up is going to be a car seat that attaches to your stroller. I'm gonna put a little picture of the one that I have. It's a Graco one. I got the Graco infant car seat. Any of their infant car seats attach to this thing that I'm showing you here. It's a little stroller that does not have the part that the baby sits in. It just has the stroller frame, and then you put your car seat on it. That is just the easiest for me, because you just take them out of the car seat and boom, click them in. Next up, I would say always have gripe water. Bean Bean, I can hear you. She just laughed. Okay, next up, I would always have gripe water and Tylenol. I've used this Genexa that I think I got at Sprouts, but it's basically kid Tylenol. And then gripe water, like I said, she's very gassy, so we definitely use this a lot. It definitely comes in handy. Next, I would say get as many binkies as you can, because these bitches disappear without a moment's notice, okay? I get these from Walmart. She loves these ones. I made the mistake of only giving her one binky for the first like 2 months, and she got literally addicted to that binky. A little tip, I would say either get all the same binkies, or if you have a bunch of different ones already, just make sure you switch them out probably daily. Like give the baby a different one all the time, because they will probably get attached to one binky or one brand of binky if you only give them one. Sorry y'all, I had to go change her diaper. Next up is going to be a little sound machine and a fan for the car. I attach them both to her car seat. Helps her stay calm in the car. She does not like car rides, so the music definitely helps. And then the fan, we live in Arizona, that's a given. Last two things, a play mat. If you do end up having a baby shower, you'll probably get one there, and a boppy. I'm actually washing my boppy right now. I do not have the boppy brand. I don't think it's necessary to have the boppy brand. They are more firm, but I got one from Ross. I feel like it works just the same. I'll put the picture here though, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Last up for things that you will need is some sort of stain remover. I got this one sent to me from TikTok, and I've been using the Tide Rescue stain remover. This one works great as well. Anytime she has like a onesie that gets shit on it, I spray this on it before I put it in the wash, and I never really ever have stains. I promise you guys, she's fine over there. She just likes to babble. Okay, now we are gonna get into things that you probably won't need, or things that I think are a waste of money. I'm gonna start off strong with the Diaper Genie. I feel like every video says this. I never bought one, but I have been told over and over and over again that they never use them. My sister had one. I babysat her son for the first like year and a half of his life, multiple times a week. Never used it. So I would say don't waste your money. If you get it gifted to you or get it for your baby shower, that's fine, but I wouldn't waste your money on it. Next is a wipe warmer. I was actually gifted this, so I didn't spend money on it, but I would not waste your money on a wipe warmer. Although it is nice the first few days of their life, because obviously you're like trying to do everything to make them comfortable, but I just didn't use it long term. I would say I only used it for like the first week or two, and then I realized that we're never going to change her in her nursery, and I'm not going to carry this thing around with me. That leads me to my next point. If you do not have the means to have a nursery, girl, do not worry about it. Our nursery is basically a storage facility at this point. The baby stays with us in the room, and anywhere I go, she's with me, and so she's never in the nursery. We're never really in the nursery. I moved her rocking chair to the living room, as you can see, and we spend most of our time in the room or living room. She's probably gonna sleep with us for a long time, just because that's my preference. My baby's only 5 months, but I don't plan to take her out of the room anytime soon. I feel like this is just depending on the person, but mittens, we only use these for like the first couple weeks. So I would say if you get like 1 pack of these, you're good. Do not get a bunch of socks, do not get a bunch of mittens. We live in Arizona, so we don't ever put socks on her. She was also a preemie, so she never fit in her socks. She still doesn't fit in her socks, and she's 5 months old. So I would say if you get them, you get them. If you don't, you don't. But I wouldn't waste your money on them unless you live somewhere really cold, obviously, then get mittens and socks. That leads me to my next one, shoes. Don't even bother. We're just gonna leave it at that. Next one is for while you're pregnant. I would not buy a baby Doppler. I only purchased one because I was high risk and I just wanted to make sure I could hear her heartbeat, but I just feel like you couldn't really hear it half the time. I just feel like it was a waste of money. It was 50 bucks. I'll probably just give it to somebody. I just really never used it. Next up is a changing pad. Like I said, with the nursery, we don't use the nursery. The changing pad is in the nursery, so we don't really use the changing pad. I will say it is helpful for when I am changing her in her room because there's somewhere I can change her on. But if you have a couch or a bed, I feel like that is just fine. Like I said, use a little blanket, put it down. If you don't get a changing pad for your baby shower, I wouldn't spend your money on it. And last for the things that you probably won't need is toys for at least the first few months. I would say don't waste your money on them unless you get them for your baby shower until they're ready to use toys, because they're just gonna lay around and you'll probably lose them like I have. Okay, I think that's it. If I think of anything else, I'll probably make a part 2, but that's basically the gist of it. I know I didn't put in a lot of stuff for like postpartum, but like I said, the hospital gives you pretty much everything you need. So I would just bring like a little bit of Aquaphor, a few changes of clothes, your little Frida peri bottle, and that's about it, honestly. Like the hospital really does give you everything you need, and I feel like their products are a little shittier than you probably could find at a store, but like you're only gonna use them for a little bit and it's just not that big of a deal, I don't think. My hospital gave me like my little nipple pads. They even gave me a pump while I was there. Like, I wouldn't bring a bunch of stuff with you. The hospital will have everything, and you can probably call them too and ask your hospital what they will provide before you go so that you are prepared with what you do need to bring. Like I said, if I think of anything else, I'll make a part 2, but that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys like these videos, please let me know in the comments. I do enjoy making them. I know my content is kind of sporadic sometimes. I do addiction content, newborn, baby, postpartum content, cleaning videos. Like, I literally do it all. But whatever you guys like to see, please let me know so I can continue to show you guys what you want to see. But that's all for now. Love you guys.